Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will speak about the Turkish cement industry. The topics are, first of all, who we are, the TCMA, and then a brief information about the national economy and the construction sector, the deeply information about our cement industry, what we do for the sustainable development, the effects of the Kyoto Protocol, export markets, potential markets, the export volumes for the last 2 years, what we expect from this year, and finally the advantages of our sector. As you may be aware, the Turkish Cement Manufacturers Association is the formal representative of the cement producers in Turkey, which was founded in 1957. We have 61 employees, and we link the sector, the government, and the public to each other, and we maintain all the international and local relations. We have two memberships. The first one is we are the full member of European Cement Association since 1972, and we are the associate member of the European Concrete Paving Association since 2009. And we also signed 3 Memorandum of Understandings. The first one is with the Arab Union for Cement and Building Materials in 2009. The second one is with the Indian Cement Association in 2010. And the third one is with the China Cement Association in 2011. As we all know, the Turkish economy recovered in 2010 after the decline in 2009. In 2010, the economic grew by approximately 9%. Last year, the economic grew by 8.5%. Approximately 50% of our population is below 30. The unemployment rate is decreasing to approximately 10%. And our exports and imports are increasing last year. The construction sector has the highest growth rate in 2010. The share of the sector increased to the 5.6% in 2010. In 2011, this share increased to the 5.8%. In 2010, the sector grew by 17%, and last year it grew by the 11%. And this year we are expecting a 7 to 8% growing in this construction sector. This graph shows the investments in our country. Only in 2009 we have a decline, and the investments are increasing. What about our industry? We began our journey in 1911 with a 20,000 tons capacity, and now we have 7 plants, of which the 76%, approximately 76%, is owned by the Turkish groups. We have approximately 14 employees, and according to the figures for 2010, we are the biggest producer in Europe and the 4th biggest producer in the world. These are some milestones about our industry. In 1970, Turkey became a cement exporting country. In 1980, the privatization of the sector started, and in 1997, the privatizations completed. These are the development of the factories, number of factories. This is the homogeneous distribution of our plants in Turkey. You see approximately 70% of our kilns are precalcination type, and 45% of our kilns are built in the last 10 years. This is the capacity growing of our sector. As you see, half of our capacity is built in the last 10 years. For the figures, our clinker capacity exceeds 65 million tons, and grinding capacity exceeds 106 million tons. For the utilization rates, for the clinker it's bigger than 90%, and for the cement it's bigger than 63%. This graph shows the evaluation of production and consumption figures for our sector. What we do last year, The domestic sales is 55.7 million tons, and the production realized approximately 68 million tons, and the exports decreased to total exports, cement and clinker, decreased to the 14.4 million tons. This is the benchmark for the last 2 years. Our sales increased by 11% and the production increased by 2.4%. For the sustainable development is an indispensable commitment for our sector. Our sector follows up European norms on production, environment, and health and safety issues. All of the plants in Turkey have dust abatement units and secured environmental permits for air, noise, and wastewater emissions. And most of our plants also again co-incinerate wastes as alternative fuels or alternative raw materials. Turkey has been a party to the Kyoto Protocol since 2009. Between 2008 and 2012, Turkey has no emission reduction commitments. From now on, in the post-2012 era, Turkey did not undertake legally binding commitments, and the only possible action for Turkey can be reducing emissions from business as usual. The shared vision of our industry to mitigate the emissions both without causing a reduction in cement production and consumption volumes and without jeopardizing Turkey's economical growth and welfare prospects. In the climate change conference last year, there are some achievements for Turkey highlighted, which are between 1997 and 2007, Turkey achieved a 20% greenhouse gas reduction. Huge investments were realized in hydropower, wind, and geothermal energy projects, and Turkey struggled with the forest fires. As Turkey does not have a reduction commitment, we will not use the Kyoto Protocol flexibility mechanisms. The important issues for us is the emission reduction targets from business as usual have to be calculated correctly, and Turkey's development goals should be considered. This graph shows the this figure shows the alternative fuel usage. We have approximately 3% use in thermal base. This graph shows our cement clinker ratio. It's approximately 0.80. For the export markets, as I said before, the cement exports realized as 12 million tons and clinker exports realized as 2.4 million tons. Our exports decreasing. The main effect for this is the Arab Spring. You see the figures. These are the major events that I think that will boost the cement consumption in the world. This is the Turkish cement exports and the reasons for the peak years. And this map shows the Turkish cement, Turkish export markets with the green. And this is the share of our exports. You see that the MENA district is decreasing and Africa is increasing. And by the figures for these regions, you see that last year the MENA district decreased approximately by 4 million tons. And for this year, for the first 4 months, you see that the MENA district is again decreasing. And for our potential markets, in the north, we have Russia, Bulgaria, and Georgia. In the MENA district, there are Iraq, Syria, Israel, Egypt, Libya, and Algeria. For our traditional markets, Italy and Spain. And we have some new markets, especially in Africa, Nigeria, Liberia, Ecuador, Guinea, Congo, Cameroon, and Brazil. And this is our export potential. Our export potential volume is expected to be about 18 million tons within 8 years. And the latest circumstances at our export markets in the West Europe, the recovery we think should take many years. In the North and West Africa, the uncertainties may arise due to some unpredicted economical and political risks. In the Russia, we closely follow the economical developments. New infrastructure and housing projects shall be the drivers of the sector, and also the Sochi Games will envisage to boost the construction. And for the other markets, we think that the MENA market is unpredictable because of the latest political circumstances. For this year, we expect a 4 to 5% increase in our domestic demand, and the drivers will be housing sector, the energy and dam investments, motorways and infrastructure investments. And this year we think that the exports to Iraq and Syria may shrink, the Russian market may again develop, and at this tough competition market, some companies in Turkey may leave the sector or some consolidations may happen. And in terms of financial growth, the Turkish economy and the EU zone, the economies in the countries' economies in the EU zone will affect our sector deeply. And the last but not the least, the major advantages of our sector, we have high raw material resources. We are using the advantage of closeness to the export markets. We have very well trained manpower. And we have a maritime export potential with our extensive seashores. Finally, as we celebrated our 100th anniversary, we are proud to be part of a globally competitive and national industry. Thank you very much.